Our next speaker, gubernatorial candidate from Harford County, Executive David Gregg. County Executive David Gregg brings vast experience in municipal and state government to the County Executive's office. County Executive Gregg has worked at the state level when he was elected state delegate and later state senator. As county executive, the county executive maintained his influence at the state level when he was elected president of the Maryland Municipal League in 2005, and in 2010 he was elected by his peers as the president of the Maryland Association of Counties. He is the first elected official to have served as the president of both organizations. He currently serves on the executive board of the MACO as a past president of the organization. Currently in his second term as Harford County Executive, I apologize. David's career in public service began with a stint on the Havre de Grace City Council, and he was then elected as the city's mayor and went on to be elected as the Maryland House of Delegate and State Senate. Thank you for joining us today.
All right, thank you. And I want to thank everybody for staying. It's always a pleasure to be between you and your lunch. So even though they're giving us 10 minutes, we'll try to keep it as short as possible. I want to thank Mark for inviting me. And I want to thank you more, Mark, for what you do for RMI. You are a person who makes a difference in this industry. And I want to thank Dr. Hicks, not just for his lecture today and for the grade he gave the state of Maryland, but also for your service in the Army for this country. You know, the current administration in Annapolis has really seen and caused manufacturing in the state to decline. Since the administration's been there, we've lost 20% of our jobs, and we've had 28,000 real jobs disappear. And the governor does seem to get that confused when he does the math and says, you know, all these jobs have been replaced. These jobs have not. Lower paying jobs have replaced them. We are the worst state in the Mid-Atlantic. There's no doubt about that. All right, so how do we change it? We'll go to the 5 points that we were requested to talk about immediately. The first action that I would take as governor is to reduce our taxes, and it would be all of them, not just one of them. We need to look at all of our taxes, our income taxes, our corporate income taxes, our inheritance tax. It would have been much better to get rid of the death tax, not the death penalty. The impact fees that we have, the workers' compensation fees, the rain tax. The rain tax right now is having a big impact on potential industries in the state of Maryland. Now, we get the quote, what are we going to do with the lost revenue? The reality is that those taxes being reduced would create a better economy and a better economic base, and we would receive more taxes in the long run if we lower them. Second big issue, I believe, for manufacturing is the energy cost. I know that the employment cost is the highest, but energy cost is very high. We need to move forward on the natural gas issue, and natural gas is a better form of energy. It's better than oil, but it would also take us away from depending on the Middle East and Venezuela and all these other places, and some of this could be produced right here in the state of Maryland, particularly in western Maryland, and that alone would create more jobs. Third, we need to really look at the regulatory process that we have in the state of Maryland. It is duplicative. There's conflicting issues that have to do between federal regulations, state regulations, and in many places, local regulations. And we need to make sure that we get rid of some of those, and you need to be the voice in telling us which ones we remove or which ones we modify. Fourth, I've always said that government does not create jobs. It's you that create jobs, but we can help private industry, particularly when it comes to education. Not just education K through 12, but also education for apprentices, like they do in Germany, and for having apprenticeship programs and training programs. And we can do that. So that is very important. And education, unfortunately, with this Common Core Act, should not just be about college. It should also be about careers. There are many people. I attend 7 graduations a year as the county executive, and I see a lot of students who are, only thinking about going to college because that's what they've been told to do. But many of them would like to have a job. And unfortunately, 40% of the people who graduate from college right now do not have a job when they get out. So we always hope they love their parents because they're going to move back in with them when it's all over. But I think one of the major things, and one thing I really don't think has been mentioned very much today, is that to do it, we have to have a capable and competent team that is committed to do it. And that is through the Department of Business and Economic Development. And I do see that Carl is here, and I think he understands it because he's been doing consulting like that, and that's a good job for him to do. So let's look at how we do it. All right, if you want to reduce taxes, it's nice to say you're going to reduce taxes. It's good to have a governor who's actually done it. I've done it as the county executive. We have reduced taxes. I did it as the mayor of Haverty Grace. We reduced taxes. That is a key thing. So it's good to have somebody that can actually balance a budget, knows how to do it, and still reduce the tax rates. When it comes to workforce training, it's good to have a governor who's actually done it. We've done it in Harford County. We have a very good credit program where we provide grants to industries when they come in and say, look, we have a very good workforce, but we need to retrain them in certain ways. And we just had one of those really good ones with this misdetection, where they were going to create 103 new jobs in Harford County. We were going to give them a grant. They pay half, we pay half. We had some people saying, well, this is going to cost you $200,000. The reality was it was going to raise our income tax base by $7 million. So I think it was a good investment for us to make. Another key for DBED, when I mentioned that it's good to have a good team, we have a good team in Harford County. Have a very good team in our economic development office. It's always good to go down there because they're never there. They're always out working. They're always reaching out to the types of people they're supposed to reach out to. We have one person that specializes in the military side. We have some that specialize in warehousing and manufacturing, others that specialize in certain areas. So we have a very good team that does that, and if you look at Harford County, you can see that, we have actually bounced back from that recession that occurred in 2008. We actually have more jobs in Harford County, not my job. We have more jobs in Harford County than occurred then, so than we actually lost. And then when it comes to you in particular, and let's concentrate on manufacturing, Harford County has one of the largest percentages of manufacturing in the state. We have over 100 manufacturing companies in Harford County. They have almost 5,000 jobs in Harford County. Now, fortunately for us, unfortunately for some areas, we stole them from other places because we knew how to work with them to get them to come to Harford County. But even more important, we knew how to reach out to the ones that are there and keep them here. So if you buy a ceiling, most likely 75% of those are produced in Harford County. You buy a turkey, most likely 100% of the labels came from Harford County. They produce cans, boots, medical supplies, metal supplies, all sorts of things. We have so many different varieties of industries in Harford County that we reach out to on a regular basis. All right, how do we reach out to them? That's another experience that we actually have and have done for the last 9 years that I've been county executive, longest serving county executive in Harford County. We've have over 25 business roundtables on a regular basis. We have this on a regular basis where we pull in our businesses. We ask them, what's good that's happening right now? What's bad? Tell us ahead of time. When the 2008 economy tanked, we already knew what was happening because we sat with those businesses and they could tell us, we're losing people that want to buy our product. What are we going to do? When the car salespeople were saying, we're not selling cars. Unfortunately, we're repairing cars now. So we see that coming back. We have a Business Appreciation Month every year in September where we go out and we meet with businesses that have been there for 80 years, businesses that have been there for 8 months. And then every year we also acknowledge them with our Harford County Award Program, and we've had 9 of those since I've been the county executive, where we give awards to the people who have come in, created new jobs, and helped us with our tax base. Just recently, about 2 years ago, we went to Texas. And we went down to Austin, and we stole ideas when it came to venture capitalism and when it came to angel investing. And we have started a lot of projects like that in Harford County. We started our ground floor project not long ago. So that's another aspect. We also have a very good fast tracking program. So if you're an industry and you want to expand, then we can help you expand. So with that said, I think it's better to not just be based on feds, meds, eds, and beds. It's good to have manufacturing. So we'll open it up for any questions you have.
Thank you. We have a skills gap in manufacturing. We believe that education is a big part of the problem. How would you change it in our state?
Well, the one thing in education is the one thing I bring differently than anybody else that's even contemplating running right now is I was an educator for 34 years. I was a teacher and assistant principal in middle school. So I understand the insides and the outsides of education. It's not all about the dollars. that's spent there. There's a lot of duplication that could be changed where the money could be taken from one side and actually put in what education is about, which is what happens between the teacher and the student. It's not about their procurement policies. I have a procurement department. It's not about their law office. I have a law office. Not about their facilities management. I have a facilities management. All those types of things that are outside the classroom we could do. Just in Harford County last year, this budget year, our budget contractors came to us and said we could cut our budget by $3 million. And that's $3 million we could take out on transporting students from one place to another and put it in the classroom. So that's one aspect. The second is having a very good community college and upper level education for training. So if someone gets hired, we can help do training for them to actually learn that particular job, because manufacturers sometimes need different types of training for their employees. So having programs like grant programs like that, I think, are very effective.
Unemployment taxes and the unemployment hearing process is very challenging in Maryland State. How would you change it?
Well, the process itself is very broken. I can tell you once as the mayor of Havre de Grace, we were firing an employee. He knew we were going to fire him, so he quit. He went and got another job somewhere else. They were getting ready to fire him too, and then he claimed he had been injured, and he went through the whole process, and we, Havre de Grace, had to end up paying the fees that he had. So that definitely does need to be repaired. When we had the economic problem and current governor said that he was going to do some grant programs for people that were hiring new employees, I told him it'd be better to lower this unemployed tax, because now that's why people are laying people off. You're forcing that, you're taking more money out of their pocket and out of their books than needs to be done, and then you're offering other people. Let's keep people who have a job, let's keep them in working first. Let's work with them. So it does need to be repaired.
You talked about the role of DBED as number 5. Can you comment on how you see reshaping DBED to be as effective as it can be for manufacturing?
A couple things. One is bringing in a good team. I was a coach for 25 seasons, and if you have a good plan, you can have a good plan, but if you don't have a good team, it doesn't matter what your plan is. So you have to have a very good team of people who understand the business and understand who they're working with. So we need people who, on the manufacturing side, who have done manufacturing or worked in manufacturing. I will tell you this, for 6 summers I worked in a manufacturing plant making 2-liter soft drink bottles, so I understand what it's like to go in for 12 hours a day. But it's having a team like that. And then 2, when it comes to the regulations, the key is let them be in charge of these regulations. Not just, we have different agencies. Let them be the collective one that can say, all right, these regulations are really impacting the business. So if it's environmental or agricultural or natural resource, there needs to be a team, and the person at DBED needs to be the chair of that group.
Can you comment on sort of present manufacturing versus future manufacturing, different set of skills, different set of tools, different set of a lot of things? Can you comment on what that means and what that might mean for the state of Maryland and how you would address that?
Well, one thing we see in Harford County is we have, with this venture capitalism and the angel investing, a lot of people come in, they start designing what they're going to create, but then they go somewhere else to actually do it. And if we could reach out to those companies that are actually designing something, we have Avon that does some products that they were selling militarily, and then they found out they could sell them to public safety, and they do manufacture them there. But there have been other companies that have had difficulty staying here, finding a location, finding the workers who could actually do it. So we need to work, and it's individual. I tell people, my wife and I have 3 children. They all have the same last name, but they're different, and you have to understand that manufacturing companies are slightly different in what they need, and you have to listen to them.
How aggressively would you pursue our natural gas resources out in the western part of our state?
I believe that it has to be one of the top priorities. The study is done, should have been done. All these other states know how to do it. Environmentally, it has been improved, so there are very few issues, and actually I think we had more problems with oil when it comes to what's happening in this country. So I think we just need to be aggressive and move forward and say this is one of the things that we're done studying, we're done doing the homework on it, we can move it forward. And we have to really work out there are many people out in Garrett and Allegheny County who have talked about bringing in contractors to do the work, but now those contractors said, no, we're going to another state now. We're not coming here. So we need to be aggressive with and help those 2 rural counties. Reach out to the commissioners that work out there and help them.
We With 11% unemployment in Baltimore City, some of these jobs were traditionally manufacturing jobs. Right? How can we bring back urban manufacturing, given all the constraints that you've heard throughout the morning today?
And some of those have moved to Harford County. And it's one of those things where you can't say you've created a new, if you just move a job from one place to another, that you didn't create a new job. But it would be good to have them located in Baltimore because that's where many of the workers were. But we have to convince the administration there that having rules and regulations like that is actually damaging them, is actually pushing workers out. And they need to change their regulations. And, you know, otherwise, Baltimore County, Harford County, Anne Arundel County are going to be doing very well. So we need to get them to understand that and help them change that and see how they could do it and influence them to do it.
If you were to be elected, in all likelihood, your legislature would be heavily Democratic. How would you be able to affect, you know, the lowering of the taxes, the lowering, the improvement in the natural gas exploitation? How would you accomplish that when you have a party on the other side that's in the legislature?
Well, it's been my experience as a mayor. I had a city council that I worked with. They were all legislators, different parties. I have a county council that I work with. So it really isn't just a division between Democrats and Republicans. It's a division that our founders said we have an executive branch and a legislative branch. So it's understanding that. And one of the differences I bring is I served in both houses, both the House and the Senate. So I understand how they're different, how they work a little bit differently. I have good relationships with the people who are the leaders there. I've worked with them for many years, both as a legislator but also as the county executive. So we have that, and a lot of it's about developing personal relationships and not being aggressive and negative towards someone, because on any given day, and any of the delegates that are here know this, you might have 15 or 20 issues that are on the table. And if you decide to become very personal and attack someone on their stand on that, you're going to lose their vote on 14 other issues you need to work with. So you need to be able to reach out to them on a regular basis, know where you agree, sit with them, have the door open. I have an open door policy as the county executive where any of them can come over and talk to my council members on any issue that they want. And that's the important thing, I think, with legislators. Sometimes they're more concerned about their particular district. Sometimes they're more concerned about regional or statewide issues. You have to understand what their issues are.
Manufacturing sometimes gets a bad rap. However, those that manufacture know that it provides great wages and benefits for the individual. It provides for the community, dollars within the community and multiplier and stability. And for our nation, it keeps a velocity of dollars in our economy. How would you be chief cheerleader for manufacturing if you become governor?
Well, first, in Harford County, Frito-Lay isn't a bad rap, it's a good rap, so we like that. Second, it's not my job to be the cheerleader, it's my job to be the quarterback. So we have to be the one that actually to work on the issue. You just can't sit on the sidelines and cheer to get it across. You have to be the one that walks out on the field, does the job. So you have to get out and do it.
We have 1 minute left. In your county, you've seen dramatic growth. As you mentioned before, a lot of it is because internal migration from other parts of the state into your state. What would you do to convince Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Virginia companies that we're the best state to move to? What would be your approach?
Well, first, we take care of the ones that are here. Let's retain the ones that are here. Second, we already do that in Harford County. We already reach out to other companies that are thinking about coming to the Mid-Atlantic. Usually, if we don't get them, it's because of state regulations and state taxes and the state not understanding what it is that's going to get that business. We had a business that was going to locate in Harford County to bring 850 new jobs. They made their choice to move to Virginia based on the income tax. We couldn't change it for them. But we have to understand, taking the lead on it and actually changing the state regulations that have forced this to happen, and not worrying about whether they move into Harford County or Cecil County. As long as they move in Maryland, that's fine.
Thank you very much.
And I'll just say one thing. On your desk, on your table is our little yellow sheet, and we'll leave that for you, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.